Uh-oh. What do I see here? Could it really be? It looks like a heavy-duty paddle. Aluminum shaft. Nice and sturdy. Huh? What does that say? To Steve. What are the chances of that happening? Oh. From Roger. Hey, what are the chances of that happening? I have a heavy-duty paddle, nice and sturdy, with the hard ends on it, so when I'm hand paddling, it really digs down in there. It's got a nice little hook on it for when I'm brain bashing manatees and dragging their bodies in. There we go, we've got our new paddle. So once again, thanks Roger. Hey, shark. Seems like a shark basher. Another gorgeous day out in the backcountry. All right, we are set up, ready to go. I'm on anchor. Got the correct current. Current is going outbound, so from the flats to the Gulf of Mexico, so that's good. Got the chum bag flowing. It was really quickly, and the ballyhoo showed up right away, so that's a good sign. They've been feeding for about 10-15 minutes while I've been rigging up all my rods, so that's good there. I've got one rod set up with my little number 12 gold hook and some 4-pound trout line leader, and that'll be what I use to catch the ballyhoo. Then I've got a heavier rig with the bobber and some wire, and then I've got one rod with just wire on it that I'll free line just around the kayak where the bobber will be farther out, and hopefully that'll attract some of the play jigs like the Cero mackerels, Spanish mackerels, king mackerels, and then might play on the bottom, but there's not a lot of stuff around. But if I sit out here long enough with the chum, things will tend to kind of come and sit behind here with all the activity. I'm gonna give this about an hour, see if anything shows up. Keep an eye out for busting a bait or anything, these ballyhoo getting chased. If I don't see anything, then on the way out I saw a nice mullet mud streak on the inside, so I might want to check that out, especially right at evening time, and see if the tarpon are around rolling on them. So that's the plan. Okay, I'm all ready to go. I got my big rod set up. Here's a hook so I could grab it really quickly after I get a ballyhoo. Got my little piece of squid on the number 12 so I could just throw it out there. Oh, had one there. Goes back. There we go. Oh! Well, he almost jumped in the kayak. That kind of spooks him sometimes. And then they'll be back. Now they're going to be a little bit more wary. There we go. This is a bit of a smaller one, but that'll be okay. This would be a good one to pin on the bottom if I had a rig set up for it, but I do not. Then I'm just gonna go right up the port there, and then nice and struggling. That's what we want. And then we're gonna pitch him down where the chum's been running and just let him swim around and see if anything picks him up. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing for this rod. So I need another ballyhoo, same deal. Just gonna throw it out there. Ooh, 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 ooh. There we go. Perfect. Oh, slimy. That's a nice one. I'm gonna put him through the nose, and I'm gonna just let him free swim around down below. Just like that. Oh. And see if anything will eat him. Well, I've got my baits out, but I've been just kind of like catching these ballyhoo and letting them go, but playing with them a bit so that they're jumping around and causing some commotion. But I'm seeing some dark skinny shapes running up on them. So I'm thinking those are some smaller Cero mackerels or small Spanish mackerels. So I think what I'll do is that they're too small for these full-size baits. So I'll drift some chunks back and then see if I could pick them up that way. All right, we're gonna see if there's any Ceros or Spanish just basically sitting below all these guys. I'm gonna send a chunk down. See if we get hit or cut off. In which case we need to switch to a little trace of wire. The ones that I'm seeing aren't very big, so they might be just going after a little chunker like this and pecking away at the bigger chunks of chum that are drifting by. I don't think this is what we're looking for. It's like a yellowtail or something. Or a blue runner. Yep. I could put this dude on a balloon. Maybe that's what we'll do. I'm too lazy to build a kingfish rig, so we're just going to do a circle hook right under over the shoulder there. I'm gonna let him swim around for now until I dig out a balloon. Just let him swim around, put a balloon on him, and then we'll see if that attracts anything bigger. I think we got munched already. What the hell? They're just swimming around and got munched. Dang it. Alright, I guess that's the way to go then. Big baits. I got something a little bit nicer. Might be just a bigger size lane. Yep, looks like that's what it is. But I don't want lane snappers. I want a blue runner or mackerel. Yeah, looks like the nicer sized lanes are showing up. You got my other line. Well, I'm gonna call this a bust. Ballyhoo are easy, so that's always a good sign, but just nothing following them up. None of the pelagics at all. Had that one mystery bite off that ate the blue runner, as well as my wire and the line. So something was down there. My long line, I had the ballyhoo on, reeled it in, and it was lively and released it fine, and it skittered along. Lane snappers were coming up, but I really didn't care about catching those. So there's rain starting, and there's a little bit of a front pushing through. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the anchor, head in closer, maybe check out that mullet mud back there and see if I see any tarpon rolling. So I'm gonna pick up anchor and go check that out. Got the very intense rainbow going. At my last video, when I was chasing the barracudas, I was coming back in and it was basically dark, nighttime, and I ran out of gas right at the inlet to the boat launch. The wind was blowing and cranking, so I took the cap off, and it's got a chain and it's got these two prongs that stick out inside the tank so it doesn't fall out. But for however reason, I must have just lifted onto it perfectly, because usually I could just let it sit there, it's no problem. But those prongs came out, and when I let it go, cloomp, and I lost it. And that was the last thing I couldn't go back and get it, because the next week it was all windy and the water was churned up. Took a look today as I was coming out, but didn't see it. So I had to buy a new cap. That was a nice $27 mistake. But fortunately, I found out I can get parts from my local Suzuki shop in 4 days versus a week to 10 days by ordering online. So that is excellent. So I'm never going to be down longer than like 3 or 4 days now that I can get it from them. And for those that want to know, I get about 40 miles per liter, and this holds 1 liter. Not 40, I get 10 miles per liter, and this holds 1 liter. And then I get basically 4 liters in this gas tank. So if I run it full, have a full tank, I have about 50 miles range. All right. Oh no. Oh. Got me underneath there. Got me underneath there. Got me way underneath there. Ah, oh, damn it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Couldn't stop them. Crap. All right, try that again. Basically, I just got this little 4-inch paddle tail. I think it's like a 16th ounce or 8th ounce jig head. Just trying to get it up and close to the edge there, because there's a big undercut on these islands here. Whatever got me there is probably either a big mangrove or a grouper. Just couldn't stop it. Got a little bit more drag this time. I'm probably going to move over to these because this one probably got spooked out. There's tarpon. Well, it's hard to see them, but there's a couple of juveniles right there. They're like checking me out. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. There's a bunch of tarpon. They keep pecking at this thing. There it goes. Oh! There they are. Ah, oh, dang it. At least I called. Oh! They're like, they're all over there. I think they think this is like a little shrimp. He's right there. Oh, another one's got it. Well, this will save the day. All these little juveniles packed in here. Oh, you need some live shrimp in here and you're you'll max out in tarpon. I think they're pulling right off this edge here. Might have spooked them a bit on that one. No. They're following it still. They're just a little bit more wary. If I had some pilchards or pinfish, I'd be whacking these guys. Okay, stop getting bites on those, so I'm going to a popper, which might work pretty good in this little spot here for some top water action. Get them excited a bit. And I could roll it right off the flats there. That soft plastic, they were just nipping at the tail once they started figuring out what I was doing. But top water tends to be more aggressive bites, if I can get them to feed on them. Oh. 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 There he goes. Oh. Yeah, I knew that would turn him on. It'll just be really hard to keep them on with these small trebles that I've got on there. Oh, they're on it. See the flash on it. Oh! I wish I had my Super Spook Juniors, which this is actually a chugger rather than a popper. This ought to do something here. My Super Spook, there we go. Oh, dang it! I knew there would be one. Oh! Oh! Come on! There he goes. There we go. Oh, this is what is this, a jack? Oh, dang it. Jack. What are you doing? You're ruining my vibe. That's gonna screw things up. Come on, yeah. Got trebles on this, I gotta watch out. Oh, man. I can pet these guys. I don't know what they are. Some sort of sucker fish or something.